finals, winners match, whatever you want to call it. We're week 2, season 4 of Unite Mike's Mayhem, and we are at the final one, and we just hit a hype train thanks to Gamma throwing in another 5 gifted, some loser named Zoinks did as well, and Psyche throwing 5 gifted as well. Thank you so much, everybody, including me, for that participation. Remember, everybody, all of the subs, every dollar that honestly that goes towards this Twitch account, all goes to supporting charity. Specifically, we're trying to support Hawaii through the really trying times they're going through. And of course, because Pokemon will be having their world champions there, we want to try to make a good impression, do our part to do help out in a tough spot. But anyway, thank you so much for the support, everybody. I hope you're all as excited as I am for this next grand finals match between Exile and Spinal.
Yeah,
right?
Exile with, a great showing there in round 1. They took to 3 games because of a nice little pop-off by Olympus. However, able to keep their cool. Great game 3. The right amount of momentum they needed moving into this winner's finals. Looking at like Pure, Neon, and Mitsu to really round out that core and able to kind of push them over the top. However, across from them is a world champion. And a bunch of players that have played at the NA regional finals in person.
Yeah.
So, or at least had the potential to, if they would have gone. So, I mean, there's nothing to scoff at on the Spinal, and as Spinal tries to do, Spinal on top.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? Oh, I actually love that hashtag. I think it's really great. I like Spinal on top a lot. We don't have one for Exile yet, but we'll have to see. Okay, so it is now time for the final coin flip of the night, as professional and real as it is. Dupe Snacks, I need you to give me one. Of course, we're going to have Exile on heads, and we're going to have Spinal on tails.
Flip that thing.
Flip, flip, flip. Flip that thing.
I didn't hear the teams you said, but tails.
Okay, that means it is going to be Spinal's choice or first or second draft pick. Let me message that crew as we get this match set up. Now, Deuce Next, you've now had a chance to see both of our winners. What do you think kind of stands out to you from both of these teams individually?
Individually, Vin is on one tonight. That's gonna be definitely something that Exile is gonna have to contend with. On the side of Exile, like I said, they have good momentum. They really need to level up here, right? They had a bit of a shaky game 2 against Olympus. They're not going to have the opportunity to do that against a team like Spinal. So just make sure your I's are dotted, your T's are crossed, and you're ready to game.
Yeah, that's a good word. I think I see chat calling out Exemplify as well as a player to keep their eye on. Exemplify was looking absolutely sick in that one specific game, but really it felt like almost every single game. I'm not supposed to look behind me. What happened? Okay, I'm terrified. It's fine.
Did your door creak open?
Oh, my closet door. Yeah, I keep a monster in there.
It's the Babadook.
I don't know. Am I not supposed to look at that one? Gosh, I hate horror movies. Actually, like horror movies, they're fun. All right. Looks like Team Spinal is actually elected for second pick in our first game. So that is going to be an interesting look. We'll have to see how that one plays out. Also, we're just getting a few players sorted out in the lobby. Don't worry, folks. We'll be into this next game very shortly.
It's the Baba Doobs. Let's go. This chat's unhinged. Oh, that was Chief. That was Speedy.
That's true. Shout out for Speedy for hanging out in chat too. Also, we got the chance to promo it, everybody. If you like some of this Unite Mike's casting, don't worry, you got more of it coming in already. Next match, tomorrow already. So on Thursday, which is tomorrow. Wow, my words are just colliding in my brain. Tomorrow, we are going to be broadcasting the Underdunk tournament run by Martine that happens every second week. It's for this North American region and the Latin region, so make sure to tune into that here on the Unite Mike's channel. It's going to be so much fun, and Speediest Chief 2 is going to be joining us on the broadcast. It's going to be so fun. Also, just one heads up for everybody. We are gonna have an emergency sub on the side of Exile. Freak unfortunately had to bail, so we're gonna have Aramaki gonna be joining in for that squad. So in our tournament rules, totally fine. It's understandable. Gonna have a hot swap. It's all good. Don't worry about it, folks. should be good to go. Teams are now given the ready. We're going to have the game coming in very, very shortly. You were saying, Deuce Next, it might be a little battle of the central area players. What team gets the Urshifu? Do you consider an Urshifu ban or even a first pick in a tournament setting like this?
Here's the thing, Zoinks. Here's the thing. I think Spinal chose second because they're not really afraid of anything that Exile is going to bring to the table. I don't think they care. I think having 2 picks to them is invaluable because they're going to be able to completely like derail Exile's strategy right off the rip, right?
Yeah.
Whereas perhaps against other teams, they'd think, okay, this particular Pokemon, Inteleon, for the sake of argument, is so invaluable that we need to have it or else we can't even get off the starting line. Like I said, I just don't think Spinal's too concerned with what Exile's going to try and do here.
Yeah, I could get behind that. I think that's a really good read. You got to play your game sometimes because, I mean, you've gotten this far with it. You may as well stick and be confident with that.
I'm sorry, I got caught up in this chat, which is going absolutely crazy.
And of course, it's our mod that's the ringleader. Psyche is just a monster saying they'll be here all night unless we ban her. Never, that would never happen, don't worry. Inteleon Lapras ban is going to be the 2 straightforward, which means, of course, Umbreon is available. Pure claimed in our very chat that they're not an Umbreon player, so maybe we don't see it. And yeah, there it is. The Urshifu is first picked.
Well, Spinal has a real opportunity to shut this thing down before it gets started, and we're going to see where Spinal goes. They do have Umbreon players, so there's an opportunity for them to really lock that thing down. Or maybe they have the soul read, or they're just watching our chat and they go, oh, well, if they don't play Umbreon, let's just sandbag it for later. They say we're not even going to risk it. But getting a Zacian, great prize, and mean look to pair with that is huge.
Absolutely. So, yeah, no, I'm distracted by chat too. Chief calling for 2 Babadook references. I really would.
Shot. Tyranitar, let's go, baby.
Okay. Now, dude,
and a Sableye. Oh my god. Exile's coming unglued at the seams. What am I watching here?
Let him cook.
Holy.
Now, have you heard of the...
Let them cook. They've torn every page out of the cookbook, and they say we starting from scratch, baby. We don't need any guidelines out here. I love it.
Now, I'm expecting a Talonflame and a Dodrio. Yep, that... Okay. Now, the reason I know this, Deuce Next, is I don't know if you've paid attention to, I don't know... The Twitter. This is the Dark Tech. Now, this is... what I've seen JL and a few of those crew creating is the OnRelentNem Dark Tech, which I believe was devised to defeat the Mewtwo Blissey comp. I believe that's what this comp was built around, but maybe Blissey Zacian will also feel the damage? I don't know. The anti-Mewtwo comp in all of its glory on the left-hand side of our screen. I'm pumped.
I mean, I have not an ounce of analysis in my skull that I can throw at the dark tech. So we're just gonna watch this play out, Zoinks, and we're gonna call it on the fly, baby. No guesswork in this because I can't even begin to guess.
I mean, I feel like a lot of the onus is on Tyranitar to land a ton of these like huge damaging moves and not get outpaced, right? That's the problem that you most often have to avoid. However, Confuse Ray is kind of crazy into compositions like this, right? I mean, you're hitting a Pokemon like Zacian with like they're autoing into their own targets. Like that is so much potential critical damage flying in the other direction. That is a huge threat. I mean, I don't know. I'm honestly just so excited to see it actually happen in a tournament game. Oh my goodness. Dark Tech on Unite Mike's Mayhem. We couldn't have wrote the script better.
Zoinks, if this is Dark Tech and we just had a string of Babadook references,
my gosh.
Is this the Babadook loadout? Is this where we're gonna nickname it just for the sake of our own broadcast?
No,
that's the question.
Don't say his name. Here we go. Game number 1 of our grand finals between Exile and Spinal. They have currently won 1 match each so far tonight, and they're looking to make it a second. Of course, they're playing for a $100 cash prize, as well as an invite to October 11th final match, where they're going to have to go up against formidable squadrons like GOAT.
Look at what Exile's doing. They're just scrambling all over the map. I mean, they're like that annoying kid in the ball pit, just chucking stuff at you and then like diving back under, and you're like, where the hell is this coming from? Like, I have no idea. And they're just scrambling. But look at this. Like, this scrambling around. Target, get some berries. I mean, make this Zacian just leash around. A Zacian hasn't hit level 5. It might after this KO, though. Holy. Okay. So, I'll tell you what, Babadook Comp, aka Darktech, needs to go ahead and see some dividends, and I mean quickly.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, we got Tyranitar, so not often known for quick dividends. Mitsu gonna try to escape from Relentless, but a big engage from Aramaki starts dealing some good damage. Sableye caught in what feels like a crossfire, but Aramaki with a big response KO. Oh,
I mean, that Aramaki coming through getting a KO streak of 2 is massive, and they've got an opportunity on this Scyther here as well, which we were so distracted by the Dark Tech, I didn't even notice we had a Scyther on the other side of the map. So it looks like both teams are working in the kitchen a little bit tonight.
Yeah, throwing in some spice. I like to see. I mean, Scyther available and already hitting level 6. So after hanging out in the top path, I think they gave the Zacian that first clear. They're going to be rotating in and getting up to level 7 as quickly as they possibly can. Safeguard going to be one of the best answers to that Sableye Confuse Ray I was touting as a formidable threat, so we're going to have to see if this Blissey can land those at that perfect time.
Being a menace. Just getting points after points after points. Can't quite let Aramaki get their points in. And they've got the big 30 banger, so that's the ultimate prize here. Dodrio going to peel out. They're probably going to get KO'd. Nope. Little dart through with the boosted out, just enough speed. And here comes Aramaki for the cover. Is there going to be correct follow-up? Dual wing beat goes wide, doesn't find anything. And you want to talk about Babadookie. We got a poopy tar on the side of Exile. Going to try and hold this thing down in the face of 5. And it's getting absolutely eviscerated.
That's true, but it's just a jump pad for Aramaki's Urshifu. All right, it may go down, but it baited them in. Huge drill peck in tandem with the Urshifu starting to deal some damage. Yes, the Umbreon gets a KO streak of 2, but Talonflame is here. Purus ready to find these isolation KOs, and we have had what feels like almost 20 knockouts, and we haven't even hit the 7-minute mark. That's a goal getter.
This is my favorite game I've seen in a long time. I love Dark Tech. I love the Babadook comp. I love Spinal going dual wing beats Scyther just to go for the big time engage and trying to stymie this thing. I love Tyranitar being here. Hopefully he has that nice new Hollowware, because that Battle Pass Hollowware looks real good.
I don't know if it would have any effects on the earlier Pokemon. I guess we'll have to see. I've done enough Hollowware takes on the timeline for 1 week. Anyway, like he headed down path. Dark Tech gets 1 victory there, completely abandoning the Reggie in the bottom path, seemingly useless to this new strategy we're seeing on the field. Another huge Urshifu engage, and with that Confuse Ray, it's so easy. Oh my word! Flame Sweep the other direction, huge overdunk, and the path is open to the home goal zone.
This is straight out of Animal Planet, dude. A bird gobbling up a bug real quick. That flame sweep was disgusting. And I hope that it's the Talonflame with the chimney sweep Hollowware, just to kind of exclamation point that. It is. No, it's the flight. It's the flight gear. They went Top Gun. It's all right, though. Not everything can be perfect, Zoinks. Not everything can be perfect. But what is perfect is this game so far, because this is a winner. This is a visual pleasure for us and everyone at home, without a doubt.
The crazy thing about the Dark Tech 2 is that it's a strategy devised for ladder to take down the most popular meta composition in a setting where it's blind pick. It's not draft. They got this in draft. I mean, clearly they knew what was going to be headed towards them, and there were no methods taken to counterpick, or maybe counterpick, but no methods taken to take away any piece of the Jenga tower that is the Dark Tech. Flame sleeps away. Flame charge for escape. Pure EX absolutely dodging the consequences of their actions, and instead have now earned themselves a 303-point scoreline at the 5-minute mark.
I just want to say that no pro or amateur player is free from flame sweeping into a wall. Pure just absolutely buckled their beak on a wall and got out anyways, because that's just where we're at here. Nice little movement by Orimaki. They're going to try and defend this goal zone, but we've got a Tyranitar looking to go to work. They're playing very far forward. Talonflame crash lands right in the middle, and they're going to Snow Globe comes out and catches them very quickly. And the Tyranitar going down too is not a good sign. Orimaku forced to peel back. There's Sableye and Dodrio unite to again just get here to protect this goal zone, because this team's about scoring and they want to insulate this lead.
Yeah, pretty solid. Unfortunately, Hollow's Sableye Unite move only lands on the Alola Ninetales, so I guess for their record there, they don't break that goal zone, so they just go home before they can actually get that score, so it does have a little bit of a pop-off moment there. Mitsu actually running this Sand Tomb Tyranitar in tandem with the Drag Pulse, so just have a little bit of a chase down. You get that short little dash that actually has a big knock-up after, so you can chase down those enemy targets to try to escape your wrath, if you will. Mitsu clearing the central area as well. Good to be hitting 12 in pretty short order. I assume you grab this ball toy and then maybe share with the Talonflame for a little bit of experience, but looks like they're headed back all the way home for a bit of healing. And in the meantime, Spinal going to be taking this Registeel.
And I don't think Exile could care any less. I mean, they've got Hollow down here just to try and make a pot shot to try and steal it. They don't really care. What they're doing with this composition is essentially isolating the strategy that they're doing, right? They don't care for the basement Reggie because they want to work with the Regieleki, which they've sent to the home goal zone, Zoinks, because that thing is unlocked and open. 323, 156. Exile would preferably like to stretch this lead a little bit more, but having that tier 1 goal zone still up for them facilitates that.
Now, because of how long that path is all the way to the home goal zone, I believe another Regieleki will be here before the final end of the game. So I'm sure Exile is going to be wanting to chase that one down. Spinal trying to pad these stats in terms of scoreline, because obviously they don't want to be too far behind in these final end games. Huge engage, though, as the shields start raining in for the team.
Yeah, but 2 players caught immediately. Orimaki and Hollow getting sent packing in short order, and now they're going to look for a 35-point overdunk here, which is going to do good to shrink the lead, but it's still over 100. That being said, Exile with the tier 1 goal zone open. That's what they want. Pure able to get out of dodge there before Relentless can take care of them with the Sword Dog. And now we've got 2 minutes and 30 seconds to see how this Dark Tech shakes out.
Yeah, I mean, early game was ridiculous. I mean, it was just showcase after showcase, but after that, it seemingly has been all Spinal's game, kind of evening the boat, getting ready for the rest of this matchup, and experience-wise, they're doing exemplary. Level 14 Scyther and 2 level 13s on their damage dealers, the damage carries, if you will, and all of a sudden, a bit of a change-up for Team Exile. They're actually focusing on this basement Reggie.
Yeah, I'm going to try and get some experience parity, or was going to at least try to. But what did that do? That baited down Spinal. Now this goal zone is just kind of left hanging there. Zacian has to babysit the home goal zone too, and that's where Talonflame's trying to tread to. And Exile is really splitting the attention. It doesn't look like Spinal's real sure how they adjust, but now Relentless is on top of Pure. They're going to try and push them out, but here comes the Dodrio. They're going for a flank score, and now Rayquaza doesn't even matter. Is any of these points going to get in? Is the Dodrio able to get out? That's the question here. None of these players down yet for Exile.
And they're pretty low on HP. I mean, Junglebook's doing what they can. The Talonflame gets 74. So now with a minute 30 left on this game, this score composition doing quite well. The retreat goes on to but the Blissey safeguard pulls them out of that Unite move. Rayquaza brought down by Spinal after some quick damage, but obviously the strategy is to leave Urshifu here to try to hit below those shields.
Yeah, they're gonna have to hit a lot.
They're just defending home. They're just defending home.
Oh my goodness. Okay, they're still up by 290 points. Zoinks, this is one of my favorite games of Pokemon Unite I've watched in a long time. Okay, 200 points-ish. Now, they've got tons of players that can go across the map and score here, but it's really the pressure's on Spinal and Exile here. Spinal needs to have that's a huge pick. That's massive for them. All the shields are here. I mean, I don't think they have anything, but Tyranitar Unite can rip through those. They're going in. They're going to try and support Orimaki here. They catch the Talonflame. Now it's up to the Tyranitar to come through. Can they get some damage? And no, they're going to eviscerate it. Scyther Unite back the other way, and all 3 players are down for Exile. Make it 4. Now there's nobody
to protect.
Lead. And all of a sudden, they're in the lead. Spinal's in the lead with 20 seconds left, and Orimaki goes down. The whole team is aced, and Spinal is up by 30. Make it even more. Make it 60. Holy dude.
What a crazy final minute of this match. I mean, Spinal playing that one really, really well. They knew they needed to come back in that moment, but both Tyranitar and Urshifu hit below those Rayquaza shields. So those 2 targets being on top of that goal zone are a huge threat. So all of a sudden, you have to try to find ways to isolate those targets and take them out. Mitsu goes down, Orimaki goes down, and if you notice, Jungle Book scoring in in that top path, you actually had a couple of other members who could have rotated and scored as well, but instead they bided their time. They actually went back to the middle of the map to pick up more Eos energy while they still had their shields and then rotate back in. They don't want to get small scores. They know that all the defense of Exile is on that home goal zone. They want to get as much value as they possibly can. Yeah, no numbers to write home about on the left side of your screen, but the strategy was certainly something else.
Listen, okay, there's two key moments here, and I want to call out the chat for kind of being big-brained as well. One, the cleanse of the Sableye Unite was huge because that would have been a 3-person clear, and that's the game in one swoop right there. So sick look and sick play out of JB.
Yeah.
The next thing I want to call out, and this is credit to the chat here, if Exile just stood on pad and fought from pad, or maybe even just sat in their home goal zone and let all of the other teams score for free.
Yeah.
The points that they gave up when getting KO'd seems to, based on the chat, mend the difference. It might have just, maybe just leaving, maybe just playing the game for the last 45 seconds is what cost them the game.
Hey, here at Unite Mike's Mayhem, I do not recommend playing the game. That will get you a game loss. Unfortunately, that is the yeah. Oh my word. What a crazy scenario we found ourselves in. Either way, at the end of it all, Dark Tech is sick. Juice, we're queuing up later. We're playing Dark Tech on ladder. That looks so
Shotgun Sableye, dog.
Yeah,
are you telling me I have an
T-Tar?
excuse to get KO'd all the time? Come on.
If my whole job as T-Tar is just to sit on the home goal zone in the final minute of the game and spam Dark Pulse, I'm in. This sounds like a fun matchup. I cannot wait. Well, either way, what a crazy start. Looking at my chat that I'm looking at right now, it looks like Exile is going to decide to stay on that first pick position. Obviously, it being in the losing situation in this game means you have that advantage. You get to go into this next game again with first draft pick. Now, Deuce Snacks, this begs the question, do we run it back? Does Babadook make its return? Okay. Babadook 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Boogaloo. Yeah, you made it work. Okay, so
doesn't sound like I did.
What does old yeah, well, you know. If you want to know what's in Snacks' heart, I could watch that game on repeat because it was so damn fun.
It was so good.
This is what, again, I'm not trying to gas up. I am trying to gas up. Boogaloo Snacks. God, Psyche is just crushing me out here.
Boogaloo.
I love this. I could watch that game on repeat. I am gassing that up because it was so much fun. It was so much fun. It was so much fun.
It was sick.
And you know what? Credit to Exile for, turning memes into dreams out here.
Absolutely. I mean, apparently it's the play on ladder into Mewtwo. I guess it's the play here too. Urshifu grabbed first pick yet again. Absolutely no one is shocked. That Pokemon has been the defining Pokemon of this week's Mayhem. Absolutely. Inteleon going to be grabbed by Spinal. I don't think Symp was rocking that Pokemon last time because I think Exile changed up their ban from Inteleon into Zacian into this game number 2. So flexing a different choice, which means Symp is going to get the best attacker in class.
Yeah, and Liquidation's a little better on tracking down poor little Sableyes, right? As long as Liquidation pops before they go invis, that thing is chasing down. And its Liquidation can easily scrub a Sableye. And it looks like Exile is playing more of a straight-up game here in Game 2, something Spinal might be a little bit more familiar with and can adjust faster to. So, no Babadook comp in this one, but a lot of quality picks on the side of Spinal, and it looks like Spinal's going to get a Gutter Hoopa if they want it. I mean, Spinal's kind of got it all going on. Whoa, Lucario, relentless, credit.
Luca. All right, the Urshifu battle of the brawlers. I'm excited to see that one. Also excited to see who wins this next Blaziken Unite license. Exclamation mark join in chat if you want a chance at winning that license. Ends in 3 minutes, so make sure to get in there quick and have your chance at winning the giveaway.
I'm not gonna lie. I played with Relentless. I stacked with Relentless. 4 games. Most intense 4 games of Pokemon Unite I've ever played in my life. Relentless is a gamer. I was top path with them as Blissey, and they were Lucario. And I'll tell you what, I was doing everything I could to keep my hat from blowing off because Relentless was zipping past me up there. I wasn't hitting any of my moves out there. Finally,
all gas,
after
no brakes.
Oh yeah, no shot. After that, I was like, Relentless crew, thank you so much. But I need to sit down. Like I
need to
can't
go have a nap.
after these 4 games, I need to slide. Like this is too much for me.
Fair enough. Sometimes you just gotta take a lay down. I for one love being horizontal, so I do get that vibe.
I don't know. We are a PG rated channel here, so I don't know what Zoinks was talking about loving being horizontal. So we're gonna put that on the shelf. All the children out there, don't Google anything like that.
Yeah,
because
like
you're not
top
gonna get
or
the
bottom.
results.
Don't Google that.
None of that. And if you are, safe search off.
All right, game number 2 between Exile and Spinal. We're here, folks. It's late. I'm sorry, or you're welcome, depending who's listening. Let's go. Exile down 1 game. No Dark Tech in game number 2. Much to our dismay, but maybe much to their advantage.
And shout out to all 180 people in here that just heard us say that. Here we go. This is potentially the last game of Unite Mike's Mayhem
ever.
4 weeks,
potentially
baby.
ever.
Jesus.
Yeah. We'll have to see. Anyway, Pure gonna be hanging on that top lane, getting the Leafeon. So, not Umbreon. He has claimed he is not an Umbreon player, but instead, he's claiming to have the Leafeon. RedLuv on a bit of an invade. EXP share for that movement speed is going to allow one of the best secures in the game. That's Water Gun, baby.
Water Gun is sick and nasty business, and RedLuv is just leashing this Aselgo around. Gonna charge that thing up and lock it down. And now they're actually gonna be able to pressure Kubfu very, very well. Urumaki has to just deal with this Slowpoke now. And finally, Phantom pulls up. Mitsu gonna give a little bit of support. Great Phantom in game 1 of our first match tonight. Mitsu played on this Trevenant and gonna try and use themselves, and successful, to push RedLuv back into path.
Yep, throwback. Honestly, the best Trevenant we've seen, I think, tonight as well. Again, a Pokemon that you either love it or you hate it, I believe, in this metagame, and the teams that are playing with Trevenant well seem to be really, really exceptional. E-Speed Lucario as well. Who needs Secure when you got Uteleon? Instead, we are just taking the team fight after team fight. I love E-Speed into this comp as well. Leafeon, Mew, Urshifu, that looks good to me.
That looks great to me. And as long as Relentless isn't on ping, there's not much holding them back. That's a quick stack. They're going to zip through. They're going to be feeling good. And poor Umbreon. I mean, the book is just like, hey, man, do I get to level up? As he's chasing down Relentless back to their side of the map.
Don't worry, Relentless. I'll swift them, big bro. Don't worry. But unfortunately, oh, look at this invade. Vin on the Ivysaur invade is going to full heal out of Mitsu's Woodhammer. Double Giga Drain, not quite enough to get them the restoration they need, as they cannot win that 1v3, but a blue buff is taken a little bit later on the side of Exile, thanks to that great invade by Spinal.
I mean, that Solar Blade Butcher Knife cut the onion right in half on that quick KO over to Exile, and that's not a bad start, right? If they're going to get froggy and cross the map in weird ways like that, you got to punish them when you have that opportunity, and at least they did.
Yeah, really good execution. Relentless trying to defend this goal zone against just 2 members, but Urumaki notably getting a whole lot of scores in as this Urshifu, and an extremely early goal zone break. Exile on the map in a big way, not running the score comp, but definitely with a huge score lead in our game number 2.
They have a score lead, but this is going to be a receipt that they're not going to want to see, because Inteleon and Venusaur are going to be able to come online a lot faster now, whereas Exile was really putting a lot of pressure in each path. This score lead, or excuse me, that score lead is not going to result the way they want to. Actually, Spinal is probably thanking their lucky stars, because they were kind of getting bullied in path.
Yeah, it's a little bit of restoration in that situation, you know? Finally, we get a bit of experience, but they definitely aren't going to have a chance at that Ridge of Steel due to the quick rotation, and Leafeon is going to be able to secure that one, and Exile gets the Regieleki.
Now this is huge. Now they're actually getting KOs to follow up there. So now closing out in the goal zone might be useful. Urumaki getting a KO streak or 2 before their career is ended, at least for this game. And playing out front, that's another KO on the Blissey, of course. Following, oh, the double step. Like, can you teach me how to Dougie, my friend? They gotta get some points. Regieleki hits. And now that lead is much, much larger. Much larger, Zoe.
Agreed. With every single word you said right there. The Leafeon, I mentioned it before, the Emerald 2-step is literally a one-hit KO button. if you find a 1v1 scenario, that Unite move just creates a knockout every single time, and it's really exciting to see, but it really just plays that assassin role so well. It's a big investment, but those 1v1 trades can be so important in pivotal moments, like kind of right after or right before team fights, to either set up and engage or give your team space on the other side of the map.
Great call. Now, tons of points are going in, but we have an Inteleon and Venusaur that are scaling faster than the opposing side of the team, and that was my big concern with that early goal zone break. Not to mention another one. This lead is only 130 points. That's not insurmountable, but Spinal needs to start getting moving a little bit. They both have tier 1 goal zones standing. They're trying to keep them from going down. Handing KOs into the hands of Exile is not the way to get this done.
No, I wouldn't say that's not in the playbook for sure. They're definitely trying something new. We'll see how it pays off. A bold move, Cotton, if you will. Now, VinDiesel is chilling, just straight up. They are auto-attacking, so I think they were just waiting for the red buff, okay? Every tournament organizer around the world held their breath for a short moment, hoping it wasn't a DC, but it looks like the Venusaur is good to go.
Good to go. Surf going to push the Trevenant out. They're going to peel back. Mitsu not willing to scrap as all of Spinal's pulling up. 4 players deep. Relentless hanging up top. Solar Beam comes through. Doesn't hit the mark it wants. Inteleon's half HP. Trevenant catches 3, though. They're going to be able to follow up and push if they want it. They're looking for unleash into a wall. Flame Sweep. Intimidate. Just imitation power right here by Mitsu. Can't quite get the spacing, but it doesn't matter. It was enough to scare. Slow Beam on top of Leafeon. Gets them to bite the dust quickly here, and now Spinal's looking to pivot. Inteleon's playing at long range. Blissey comes in with the Bliss Assist in the middle, and now they're pivoting. 3 players down for Spinal. Exile comes through. Relentless uses their Unite move, doesn't find any purchase. 4 players down, it's just Relentless left. Can they rinse the whole team in the last 30 seconds? That's the look they're trying to do. Egg Bomb is there. Orimaki is diving for the follow-up. Don't overextend. You're going to give up everything you just gained. Mitsu going to screen for the rest of the team, and they are out like thieves in the night.
Hollow, absolute MVP out of that fight. Max range Bliss assistance and just hits every single target on the way there. You put that in tandem with an Urshifu starting to deal the damage. It is ridiculous payoff. They get a KO streak of 3 and then the follow-up chase down knockout as well. I mean, Exile is in firm control of this map. The only silver lining is what you mentioned before, is that Venusaur Inteleon, but now that pace has been kind of swinging the other direction, in momentum at the very least.
Momentum is definitely in the hands of Exile. They're up on the scoreboard as well, and all of a sudden, this experience lead doesn't matter as much because it's been brought to parity. This Regieleki looks like it's going to be free. They're going to post up, too, and protect their bottom goal zone. So Exile is working this map incredibly well. As long as they kind of insulate a little bit and don't give any of that comeback experience back into the hands of Spinal, I think they're going to be in pretty good shape.
As long as you can avoid giving Venusaur free Giga Drains, it also has such low amounts of healing. I mean, all you have is Jungle Book's Wish healing on that Venusaur, which I'm sure will be basically on cooldown, but it is a very slow heal, almost more of a preemptive option than anything else. And, well, if you have 2 assassin-style Pokemon like Leafeon, and I'm even going to give that credit to Urshifu with the way Aramaki's been playing it tonight, both of those options are great at shutting down slow healing options.
Yeah, Mitsu's fighting hard for vision for Exile here as Spinal is trying desperately to get this Venusaur as big as humanly possible going into the final throws of this game. Exile decides that they don't want to hang out anymore. They'd rather run around the map a little bit. I actually liked their positioning and kind of pseudo giving up this basement Regizoinks.
Yeah, I didn't mind it either. Well, a lot of poke damage is done to Vin. He's going to restore most of that thanks to some Giga Drain combinations on the Registeel. And Jungle Book actually staying in the backline. So as a defender, want to just drop those wishes onto the Venusaur and allow Vin to be in the majority of the front line. Mitsu taking a lot of damage thanks to that knockup from the Surf, but in the end, I think both these teams just respecting the damage from either side, deciding to retreat.
Yeah, and now they know where each other is and where they're going to approach this central area. And of course, that's through the bottom. I said central area, I meant like the center of the map. Of course, Surf doesn't find anybody. Mitsu is not afraid to show themselves because they, again, are just scrapping for vision for the rest of the team.
Yeah, their Woodhammers have been so on point every single game, of taking a lot of full heals off cooldown as well, which has been very, very big. Pure deciding or electing not to go on that big flank I thought they would be pushing for in the top path. I guess just deciding that a bit too tanky of a team on Team Spinal, and with no vision of Inteleon, not many targets you can really try to chase down. Mitsu caught out in a mean look. This is the first chance for Spinal to take over this team fight.
Pedal Dance Giga Drain comes through, but there's Hollow with the soft-boiled egg just in time. No real damage done, but it's Spinal down by over 100. Nice Solar Beam comes through, and it finds everybody. They're putting tons of pressure on the follow-up. Two-step is through. Trevor Unite on top of 3. Tons of people are getting eviscerated here. Spinal has 1 player down, but the follow-up is there. Bliss hits long range on the Inteleon. Inteleon needs to leverage that big time, but it's Orimaki coming unglued. 3 players down. Finally, the Orimaki is down, but they're just trying to find the Venusaur. Getting shredded, but everybody is low. Hollow's so low. KO Shrika 2 for the Dinosaur. They're going to try and get another one. The chase is on, but there's JB just in time for the Wish Energy here. The Wish Energy support, as now Neon is going to have to work through, but now it's Spinal that gets the positional advantage on Rayquaza.
Yeah, we now have Venusaur self-sustaining through basically everything. This is the problem with a Pokemon who can scale as well as this dinosaur in the central area right now. VinDiesel almost at 15 and was able to defeat so many targets on the side of Exile. Spinal with really good positioning, but the burn on this Rayquaza is going extremely slow. Symp actually trying to save their critical hits for a Secure, but the Mew is going to grab it. That is going to be Team Exile with the Secure.
Exile peeling back, they're going to score, and just this Hundo Burger alone is going to be enough to send this thing to a game 3. Spinal waited way too long, but to Exile's credit, they fought well, they got critical KOs. Orimaki stepped up, and all of they were doing is not only getting KOs and bodies, but buying tons of time. By the time Spinal had everybody back up, tried to rip it, which they didn't have much of, they didn't have enough time, and I think even if they would have gotten it, they would have been hard-pressed to scramble and score there.
Yeah, I mean, Exile's initial team fight looked so good. It's just the damage just ran out of gas when it came to the Venusaur, and Vin was able to really turn things around. And if I'm being honest, buy Spinal a second chance in that match. However, like you just called out, they didn't quite have the numbers to make that second chance pay off, and Exile able to come back in a major way. Symp and Inteleon looking very good. Of course, you can only store up to those 3 automatic critical hits, and the B button is a heck of a Secure on Rayquaza. The problem is they weren't auto-attacking because they didn't want to give up those boosted auto ticks. They wanted to save them for that final Secure, and Mew was just able to line that up a little bit better. Shout out to Neon in that situation.
The team did well. That was great Secure by Neon as well. And they had to come back into that fight to make that happen, right? To make that, I don't want to call it a prayer play, but secure that win for Exile. And that's what you want out of your Mew, right? That's a great secure tool is the Electro Ball. Sometimes you'll even see in tandem the Mew Unite to kind of create that mist shadow so you kind of get them lost in the sauce. And then they'll actually use their sure hit as the health bar is going down on the objective for a secure there. Comes through, looks good. Tip of the cap. I mean, Exile pushing this thing to game 3. They are really playing well, throwing a completely different look in game 1, more traditional look in game 2. And honestly, that game could have been more clean out of Exile and it would have been less close, but they come out with a win regardless.
Yep. Yeah, they still find that win. They still find that big final Secure. Obviously so important in a situation like that, but that's what a Mew can give you in those final moments. And when there's only a Venusaur for an Inteleon for Spinal, it's also a tricky and precarious place to be. Game 3, and also shout out to these absolute goats of teams with Exile always wanting first pick and Spinal always wanting second. It means I don't have to rotate the names on the graphic, and my job is just so easy.
We'll take those wins because I'm so used to us just having the wrong names everywhere all the time, to kind of give ourselves the extreme challenge here as we go through.
Or just the same name everywhere. Shakes fist at Curios. Anyway, Exile not deviating from the path so far. Aramaki going to grab this Urshifu immediately, and it's the same bands as game number 2, meaning that Spinal has the chance to run it back as well, grabbing their 2 choices. Last time there was an Inteleon in this slot, but yep, it looks like it's going to be the exact same. Running the Slowbro alongside.
Yeah, which means this Umbreon is open. Maybe, again, Spinal leaning into the fact that they don't think Exile has an Umbreon player or somebody that's willing to take that mantle. And it's going to work out because they're going to get it late if they want it here. I love this Hoopa Hover because I think it is a good one, even in tandem with this Blastoise. Yeah. Make it happen for Spinal. That's where my heart's at.
Well, Jungle Book has definitely been delivering in a few major ways, but this time they are... Wow, really burning the candle at both ends. Yes, the Hoopa has been selected. Double Defender and Hoopa. It just makes sense. So much HP restored at once. No other support can do that much healing for 2 defenders at the same time outside of Hoopa. The value just cannot be understated.
Oh man, is this a Gengar? Are we seeing shades of Caligula from the EU coming in with the gutter Gengar pick to throw everybody's head sideways? Doesn't look like it. VinDiesel, we know, is an absolute mutant on this Dodrio as well. Has tons of games with that Pokemon, and that's where they're going to go to round this thing out. And I like that pick because this Hoopa is going to be able to sustain this Blastoise and Slowbro so well. It's really going to allow VinDiesel to run roughshod wherever they want on the map.
It's really interesting how Exile has kind of put Vin in weird spots in the last couple of games. Maybe not the first game, that draft-wise, very strange. But in this last game, I mean, the Urshifu first pick and the Zacian ban, I mean, both of those options are great picks for Vin, but now putting them onto the Dodrio, obviously not a shortcoming of this player. They're an amazing Dodrio, but still, I really like Urshifu and Zacian in this metagame. So making Vin's job a little bit harder just with an aggressive draft at the top of the screen.
Without a doubt. Spinal with a little bit more of a traditional draft. I mean, they're both kind of traditional drafts. I just, in my heart of hearts, think that Spinal has the edge here. It's going to be tough to keep some of the Pokemon that they have on a leash, specifically the Blastoise and the Dodrio.
Yeah, I think it's actually a really good call. Umbreon on the side of Exile, though. That is something that I am excited to see. Of course, Meanlook a really good option to just try to find an individual target to shut down. And if you're going into Dodrio, maybe you even run Snarl. I think this is probably a Meanlook Snarl game. But I've been wrong before. In fact, a whole lot tonight, but we don't want to talk about that. Let's talk about game number 3, Exile versus Spinal. This one is literally all or nothing. $100 cash and the invite to Grand Finals night. All of it on the line here between our two teams.
They are looking to look good here, and Symp is going to be a player to watch for me. I think this is a great opportunity for them to come alive, especially with the robust front line that they have. It's going to allow Inteleon to play right over their shoulders and just rain in heavy liquidation damage.
Oh yeah, that liquidation is certainly heavy. And even before that, Water Gun doing some ridiculous heavy lifting for this Pokemon. The best secures in the game all the way through the Drizzile. Makes this Pokemon so formidable in the early game.
Without a doubt. Good pressure here as Spinal is really rolling through, seeing that it's just a chance he's standing. They are already getting a K opener as they sent that Leafeon back to base. Spinal pivoting back, and Hollow is just doing their best to try and secure as much as they can. Unfortunately, it is a sad endeavor as there's a War Turtle inside of Spinal.
Yeah, really good early game for Relent. I mean, hitting the War Turtle already. Vin, now showing up to the party, absolutely zooming with that speed all the way full. Steals all of those Swablu Altaria. The Solar Blade not even going to come close.
Well, Orimaki does a great job to get JB off the portal so they can't reset, so that's a quick KO back to Exile. However, that time allowed Relent and Vin to get back safely, and now Vin's going to go harass some other part of the map.
As is their right. Pure going to try to dunk in 7, but a Water Spout being a very annoying thorn in the side. Leafeon scores, Hollow scores, but an immediate rotation of the Dodrio is going to mean that Leafeon is KO'd.
Now Hollow is just zigzagging their way home, but can't quite make it as they get KO'd on their own doorstep. VinDiesel gets their points in, and Relent is there to just rain in damage on Orimaki. Orimaki can't close the door on anybody before that they roll through the portal here and just decide to go in different directions. Not going to take that express journey to the pain. But the words are crushing me today, Zoinks. I am having an off night, my friend.
Nah, it's all good. It's late night, deep breath, Babadook, something. We're back. All right, Dodrio clearing those central with the help of Hoopa. Of course, the portal going to be there for the reset, but also just dealing a really good amount of damage in that huge AoE that it happens. I mean, Hoopa, yes, not the most traditional support character, but when you see top-level players like Jungle Book play it, you really understand why everyone remembers how powerful of a meta choice this Pokemon is.
I never feel like you're in bad shape when you have Hoopa on your team. I just don't. Its Unite move is insane, and your ability to cross the map, it cannot be understated. Nice little engagement here is just Spinal's Rat spinning to win on top, but that is a Solar Blade in tandem with a Blue Shifu. Orimaki getting some KOs here, and now they're looking to push. JB holding down the portal, puts it down. They get KO'd with another blade in half, and they're going to get tons of points here, Zoinks. That is a shattering of a goal zone, and now they have the lead.
Urshifu, especially when in this Rapid Strike form, really feels like it carves out its own role in the game. Like, it's not an assassin, because it takes too long to find those knockouts. It's not like you're at risk of getting KO'd the other way. It's not exactly a brawler, because it's outcompeting everyone else for that role. I mean, really, it's carved out its own spot, and you can see why. Symp with a great little secure, though, on the Regice, though, but most of Exile able to escape back to their goal zone. They're going to be able to defend this one, so no goal zone rushes after that objective is secured.
No, Neon able to make it back just in time. They were very low on HP, able to screen behind Hollow a little bit, which gets them out of the hot water that they were so desperately concerned of, because at that point, giving up a KO on top of everything else definitely would have sucked. So Exile still up with a slight lead, didn't overextend into that Regieleki. You like to see that. However, still behind on experience.
Yep, obviously a thing you never want to have in a game of Unite, especially when there's absolute titans on the other side in terms of scaling Pokemon. Looking at you, Blastoise, obviously a huge threat to have to deal with. Solar Beam from Neon gets one piece of wild Pokemon, but also does a ton of damage to Symp, who has to retreat back towards that goal zone, and finally appears again with this liquidation. I mean, we're almost at that 5-minute mark, and it feels like we're as close to a stalemate as we've had in this series so far. I mean, both these teams really respecting each other's damage quite a bit, but maybe more notably, really trying to win the level race more than anything than we've seen in any of these matches, in any of these games of this match so far.
Unfortunately, Spinal has the better late game between Blastoise and Inteleon really ramping up, and the fact that they are leading the pack here in terms of experience is not a great sign for Exile, which means every second that ticks off this clock, Exile is actually falling behind, even if their levels remain the same just based on how these characters scale.
Yeah. Pure able to dodge away, but with 3 members and only Aramaki for backup, it seems like defending this goal zone might be a little bit too tough. Inteleon does Unite move, gaining a little bit of vision, but of course the critical hits raining in are the real threat. 40 points go in, a pretty solid overdunk, but Leafeon going to be able to flip the script. They do take that 1v1 KO, but Blastoise quick to even the score.
Yeah, the 2-step resulted in their own just self getting KO'd there. Blastoise is becoming huge. It's level 11. It's one of the biggest things on the map, and it is going to be able to start raining in damage. Exile, not much to be able to stop it. I mean, we've seen things like Buzzwole be employed to slow down a Rapid Spin Water Spout Blastoise, but there is nothing in sight like that.
Yeah, true. Jungle Book dropping a very aggressive portal right in front of the Regirock. Mitsu trying to steal away some of the shields, but too early, right before the Blastoise Unite, which allows Relentless just to use that immediately after. Inteleon secures the Regirock, and I mean, at this point, it's just Spinal charging in and taking everything they've ever wanted. Ooh, nice surf.
Nice surf to try and get, but that is, you don't have too many of those in the bag, and of course it's not enough as that goal zone is gone. This lead is 60, and that Hoopa portal bails everyone out. Shedinjidal comes out for Symp, and they're looking to scramble here. No follow-up after the mean look, which means Symp's going to get out scot-free too, and that's just why Hoopa's so darn strong.
It is a very powerful Pokemon with no direct counter to it. It makes your life so much harder. Leafeon tries to engage on Symp, but Symp able to escape almost all of that damage. However, the people coming through the portal are not the same. Aramaki starting to cook and gets one knockout, but the Blastoise returns the favor. Aramaki continuing to fight with a huge combo onto the Slowbro. 28, 29 hits, but Blastoise, again, the real threat of Team Spinal, is just getting KOs left, right, and center.
And now, after the Drill Peck, they're poached by the Blastoise, and they are quickly KO'd. Just another KO for the Dodrios. The Leafeon can't get out in time, and we are peeling back here because Spinal is just taking over. They're just bigger. They're dealing more damage, and Exile can't really hang with that right now.
Yeah, their team fighting prowess is also phenomenal. Like you were calling out when we were analyzing the draft, it's just ridiculous. You have the Blastoise Unite move for just amazing team fighting potential. You have Dodrio for 1v1 kind of assassinations. And then Inteleon's Unite move is one of the best secure tools that you could have ever devised in this team strategy. So really a well-rounded composition headed into our final stretch, which is only 30 seconds away.
I mean, the fact that Relentless is level 14 and Dodrio is on the doorstep at level 14, I mean, that does not bode well for Exile. They need to get a catch, and they need to execute a flawless team fight here if they want to win this game.
Not an easy task, of course, against a team the caliber of Spinal, especially what they're looking like right now. I mean, a really impressive best-of-3 series they've put on so far. Final stretch kicks off both teams with decent positioning. Spinal a little bit out of the pit, but Dodrio, of course, with high mobility, can get in range whenever they would like.
Yeah, but Pure forced to peel back because they were in that absolute water wiggle action of the Blastoise. Solar Beam chunks RedLuv just a hair, and they're going to be able to stay with no real fear here. Spinal feels pretty good in this position.
Yeah, a lot of space gained. RedLuv, of course, just waiting to use that Slowbro Unite whenever a target gets too close. I have to imagine you're hoping for Aramaki. The problem is you got to use it in tandem and avoid both the Blissey and the Umbreon Unites. So a very careful game of chess with these Defender Unite moves and to support Unite moves, because a whole lot of shields can be given and taketh away.
Very true. A portal is up, but nobody takes it. So that at least ability is going to be down for a little bit. Nice liquidation on Mitsu. That's half their HP. Post by Drill Peck. Surf engagement as well. Can they get Mitsu down? They're still standing right now. Through the portal, forces out the Unite move. They're still going. RedLuv is getting so low. They're on the backside. Solar Beam comes through. They use their Slow Beam to stay standing. Rings are unbound. They're putting fists everywhere. Beam comes through. Now the Surf is going to try and buy some time. That's a Hydro Typhoon sitting on top, but it's 2 players down for Spinal. Make it 2 on each side. They're looking for the chase on Dodrio. They get it with the Electro Ball. 3 players down for Spinal, and Exile's looking for more. That Blissey's on the verge. They go down. 1 player down for each side. And now it's just Simp trying to hold back Arumaki. Arumaki's going to scramble score. They got the Hundo Burger. Can Simp close this thing out? They need to put some abilities in. Liquidation comes through. The engagement's going to happen. But people are start coming off respawn here. 30 seconds left, and somebody needs to get points in. Spinal is up by 60.
Great spacing by Simp to know they could target the liquidation, but play that corner so that even with 3 dashes, Aramaki couldn't close the gap and get that knockout. Amazing play by Simp. Also, they had a great little 2v1 with Vin earlier on in that team fight. Hollow in position now to start supporting the squad. Mitsu trying to get closer to get some scores in at least. Inteleon finds one, Leafeon charges another, and Jungle Book is scoring in the backline as well. Hundo Burger from Aramaki, not gonna happen, stopped at the last second.
Oh, Book getting 74 and seals this thing up, and Spinal has the defense of a century. Goodbye, Simp to peel back. That is a heck of a finish to a heck of a match. Zoinks. Unite Mike's Mayhem delivering yet again.
Oh, I feel like I didn't breathe that final 2 minutes. That was so tense. These teams were just staring down at each other for the longest time. I was watching those Defender Unite moves so close and carefully. Umbreon launched. RedLuv with the perfect timing right after catches the Umbreon, but despite that, RedLuv gets knocked out in tandem. I was worried, and Pure was in the backline getting to work, but Simp was actually able to shed Ninja Doll, avoid that KO, and then VinDiesel to the rescue on the Dodrio and swoops in and KOs the Leafeon. Really a crazy team fight. One that we could go back and watch probably 10 times in a row and learn something new every single time. What a finish, and congratulations to Spinal.
I mean, well fought, well done, and Exile looks exciting. I mean, that was a fun team to watch. They're executing very well. They made that thing come down to the wire, walking on a razor's edge here. Great for JB to peel off and score. I mean, just very well, like you said. You could literally take any portion of the map in that last 2 minutes and break down some very meticulous, unique, high-level play things that were going on. Unfortunately, during the cast, there was so much going on that it's kind of da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But I think, as it stands, the final Orumaki Simp push, where it was just those 2 players standing, Simp realizing where they needed to be, their spacing on the liquidation, because Orumaki was trying to score. If they get it, obviously that's huge, but what they're trying to do that you noticed and you called out was they're trying to bait in Simp to get the KO, to be able to peel back and try and score after. But Simp with their positioning was just out of range, just in the corner, raining in so much damage, which actually forced Arumaki to bail on the plan completely.
Yeah, even if they get that KO, they themselves probably don't score. They tee up for one of their teammates with a smaller amount of AOS energy, and even that would have gotten them the lead, but it just wasn't there because of an amazing Simp defense. And then, of course, Jungle Book's amazing back cap really sealing the deal for Team Spinal. And, well, seal the deal. They did. They have now won our $100 cash prize, and of course are invited to the finals night on October 11th. It's going to be a very exciting conclusion to Unite Mike's Mayhem Season 4, but we're not quite there yet. Week number 3 is going to be coming next week. I can't wait. Make sure to have your eyes peeled onto Twitter, or X, the website formerly known as Twitter, at Unite Mike's there to make sure you see every post, what the teams are, when they're playing, and all that good stuff.
I'm just throwing a lull in our chat because I said we should raid the book after this big win, but they're logging off. Anyways, Emote Initiative. You subscribe or use your Prime sub to us at Unite Mike's. We donate all the money at the end of each month to different causes. We're kind of currently committed to the Maui Food Bank to help the folks over in Hawaii, because that's where the Pokemon World Championships are going to be for 2024. And I think it's in good conscience to support the place that we're going through their hardest times before we just kind of show up. So that being said, if you subscribe to us, you get our emotes. We donate all the money. We appreciate all the support. Follow us on Twitter, aka X, at Unite Mikes. Follow Zoinks at ZoinksCast. Follow me at DoobSnacks. But ultimately, we will see you literally here tomorrow for Underdunk, because we're casting that too with Speedy as Chief 2, Pogo caster of the official broadcast. We're trying to drag him over to Unite to help us out a little bit. So tune in tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern for that. And I think that's all I've got. Close the door on this thing, Zoinks. Let's get out of here.
Unite Mikes don't stop. We'll see you tomorrow night. And then, of course, next week for week number 3 of Unite Mike's Mayhem. Let's go.